It was a farewell through music Sunday morning. Now, many ask, what's next? Well, the church has a clear process on that at this point. There are a few immediate steps. We kind of want to walk through them for you. First, the first presidency gets dissolved. The first presidency, that's the highest ranking body in the church. The two men who previously served in the first presidency go back to their places of seniority in the Quorum of the 12. Well, the Quorum of the 12 is the next second highest body. Once those two counselors from the first presidency are returned to the Quorum of the 12, that group then has 14 men. In the church, seniority is ordered by the date the apostles were appointed to the quorum, not by age. The senior apostle, the one who was appointed first, that's the one who leads the group. Right now, that is President Dallin H. Oaks. The Quorum of the 12 has a meeting then about what happens next. That's typically one of two options. First, the first presidency is reorganized, or the Quorum of the 12 continues to be in charge for maybe a little bit longer. The group then discusses together and then makes a decision. At this point, no word just yet on when this meeting will take place. If the Quorum of the 12 decides to reorganize the first presidency, that's when they then pick the new president of the church. That typically in the past has always been the senior apostle. He will then pick two new counselors to serve in the first presidency alongside him. The second ranking apostle will then be the president of the Quorum of the 12. If he's in the first presidency, the next apostle in line will become the acting president. The Quorum of the 12 will then set apart the new prophet. We know a lot of information there. If you want to learn more, you can check out our website, abc4.com, to break that down a bit more. Okay, it's expected that Dallin H. Oaks, that's who you see right here, will be the next prophet of the church. That's what many expect. He served as President Nelson's first counselor in the first presidency. President Oaks and President Nelson were actually picked to be apostles on the very same day. President Oaks, though, was ordained 1 month after President Nelson. He was born in Provo in 1932. That makes him the same age as President Nelson when he became the prophet. Oaks studied accounting at Brigham Young University in Provo, and then he got his law degree at the University of Chicago. After serving as the president of BYU himself, President Oaks was then appointed to the Utah Supreme Court. Twice, he was considered to serve on the U.S. Supreme Court, first by President Ford and then by President Reagan. He retired when he was called to be an apostle in 1984. Again, many expect President Oaks to be the next prophet. He'd have to choose two counselors to serve in the first presidency with him. Those have been chosen from current members of the Quorum of the 12. So here's some of those people. President Eyring served as the second counselor in the first presidency alongside Oaks. He also served in the first presidency under President Thomas S. Monson and President Gordon B. Hinckley. And then you have President Holland. He is currently the acting president of the Quorum of the 12. He was also a BYU president. Right now, he is 84 years old. Meanwhile, Elder Uchtdorf was the second counselor of the first presidency under President Monson as well. He served in the German Air Force. Elder Bednar was ordained as a member of the Quorum of the 12 back in 2004. He was born in California. He was a professor of business management at Texas Tech and the University of Arkansas. He also served as president of BYU Idaho. You also have Elder Cook. He's from Logan here in Utah. He's served in several callings, including as a full-time missionary in the British mission, bishop, stake president, as well as presidency of the 70. Elder Christofferson was called in 2008. He's had supervisory responsibility over areas really around the world, including Brazil, Africa West, and the Philippines. You also have Elder Anderson. He was serving as the senior member of the presidency of the 70 when he got the call to serve in the Quorum of the 12. He speaks French, Portuguese, Spanish, too. Elder Rasband was called in 2015. He was born right here in Salt Lake. He went to the University of Utah. Utah Valley University awarded him an honorary doctorate of business and commerce. Elder Stevenson was called in 2015. He served his mission in Japan. He was raised in Cache Valley. Elder Renland has bachelor medical degrees from the University of Utah. He was also trained at Johns Hopkins Hospital. He's served in several callings in his time, including as a full-time missionary in Sweden, a stake president, bishop, and Area 70. Elder Gong was called 6 years ago. He has degrees in philosophy and international relations. He was a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford University. Then there's Elder Suarez. He was born in Brazil. He's worked as an accountant and auditor for multinational companies. And then Elder Kieran. He's the newest apostle. He was called just at the end of 2023. He was born in England. He has lived in the UK, Saudi Arabia, and of course, the United States. Now, President Oaks, if he gets called, he would be the 18th president of the church. President Nelson was the 17th president. You're seeing a full list of photos here of prophets over the time. Joseph Smith is recognized as the first modern-day prophet. He is the one who members believe founded the church. You see him on that side of the screen. Then you Brigham Young right next to him. He was the first prophet to bring early pioneers to Utah. President Nelson, well, he came after Thomas S. Monson, who you'll remember died in 2018.